Yes, sir. The sheriff asked us the very first week we took office for this thing. And
Do you want to up with the fiscal report? Get this out of the way. I'll make it first.
Well, so I'll be sticking around for the resolution anyway, so.
All right. Okay.
I mean, no, I'm sorry. The resolution is just resolution. We're not going to be hearing. Yeah, you can do me first. Thank you. Whatever.
All right. Could we all please rise for the pledge and a moment of silence following. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, everyone, thank you. Just so everyone's aware, the meeting is recorded, and we have a public hearing that we would like to open with today. It is to update definitions for mobile home, RVs, and etc. And I'd like to read the legal notice that was published in the newspaper on April 12th and the 19th of this year. Notice is hereby given that the Warren County Commissioners will, pursuant to the provisions of the municipality's planning code, hold a public hearing at noon Wednesday, April 26th, in the Commissioners' Conference Room, first floor of the Warren County Courthouse. The following changes to text of the Warren County zoning ordinance will be reviewed: updating definitions for mobile home, manufactured home, modular home, and RVs. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to our Planning and Zoning Administrator, Michael.
This is continuation of what we started, I forget. It was a little while ago.
A while back, yeah.
But this is no changes to the ordinance. It's simply updating the definitions of manufactured home, modular home, and RVs to more align the ordinance within the or the definitions within the ordinance to match industry standard of today. At the last hearing, we were asked to. Do you want me to read through these or no? Okay. We were asked to update or come up with a definition for temporary use and then recreational camping seasonal use. So the definition came up with temporary accommodation is any recreational vehicle, RV, used for human shelter and designed to be transportable and not attached to the ground, to another structure, or to any connection to any utilities excluding electric. Such temporary housing may occur for no more than 180 days in any calendar year. This went through the Planning Commission. They were all okay. That made the recommendation to you folks, and that's why we're here today. Recreational camping or seasonal use was defined for the ordinance as activities affording relaxation and enjoyment by means of a temporary accommodation, irregular use, and limited time frame. That is it.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. And that would have been my question, is to see if the Planning Commission had approved this. And it has been approved by them.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions from anyone here in regard to these changes? Suggestions? Comments? All right. I'd like to close. We will be voting on this in our regular meeting section. So with nothing more to add, I'd like to close this meeting. Any objections? All right. We'll move on to our regular public meeting. Old business. We have on the agenda the school resource officer. And after seems like months of reviewing this contract, I believe we finally are in the either we accept it or not stage, and I would like to turn this over to Commissioner Cafferlin so he can review the agreement.
After literally a year and a half going back and forth, I happily moved to approve the School Resource Officer Program effective May 1st, 2017. The amount of $27.50 an hour for a part-time deputy and $37 even for a full-time deputy's hour. And I'll explain more after it's seconded.
I'll second that.
All right, so we're very happy that this is finally coming to fruition. And I wanted to thank, by the way, the sheriff the DA and Amy Stewart for their persistence in pursuing the school resource officer program, and we're very happy to participate in it. Despite the fact that it may have looked like we were dragging our feet, it was just doing due diligence, and with this agreement, we'll essentially be having an increased presence in the schools, having law enforcement in the schools, which will mean, first of all, increased response time should there be a situation. It'll be a bit of a deterrent for students that, or really anyone that may be considering doing something illegal. And of course, it'll be an asset for students to approach the school resource officer should they have information that they wish to share or advice that they wish to seek. In order to make the calculation, so that you're aware, we included a lot of things, including we didn't want to tie the hands of the department to decide whether or not to send part-time or full-time. I know that it's your preference to do the part-time, and I think it would be the school districts as well. But should there be a situation where you need to lean on a full-time, we wanted that to be in the agreement.
That brings a good point, because the part-timers, the one Deputy Jacob Johnson has been through training, not school resource, but through his state-required training. But it would be nice to have a deputy with experience being able to tutor them, and so I have no issues with the commissioner's position on it.
Well, it's completely up to you.
No, I understand, but yeah, we've been back and forth on this, but I will say this, that I think the commissioners, this board of commissioners, have been extremely cooperative. That I think that we all agree we needed this, and the commissioners, the steps that they took were to protect the county, and I have no issues with that, and I think it was very wise.
Thank you. So within the full-time rate, obviously that includes all benefits,
yes,
calculated out. For both full-time and part-time, we did include at least a modest amount for uniforms and all the equipment that they need, as well as a little bit of money, like $100 a year for ammo and qualifications, that sort of thing. We did not include things such as fiscal and HR overhead or management of your time, your chief deputy's time and management, that sort of thing. And we did not include the deductible, of course, as the deductible for the insurance would be only dipped into should there be a reason to.
But it's in the contract, so I think
it's in the contract, but it's not something that we calculated out. It's not like we're trying to account for that risk. So in some ways, the county is slightly subsidizing, but I think this is a real cost. It's about as real and close to the actual cost for an hour as we could get without being really nitpicky. So, you two have any questions about?
I think all of my questions have been answered. We were just getting down to the dollar amount.
Yep, and that did round slightly, by the way. Like rather than $37.04, I just said $37 because.
So I think this is a really great opportunity, especially when you have so many very issues at the high school level where they're the administration's limited in their ability to conduct investigations and do other things. So I think that there's definitely potential here as an asset for the school district. The only two things that I want to bring up, and I'm just doing this to be nitpicky to some degree, is one is that I want to stress that any deputy that works in this program should have the training as a school resource officer before they do, because this does, there's a proven liability to the county as far as if the officer is not properly trained in how to deal with students, deal with administrations, it could be a real problem. So they have to be trained before they go into the school. Number one. Number two would just be that we should continue to monitor the overall cost of the program, just because I know that this is something that you've done a great job of doing everything you can to make sure that the costs are mitigated through the school district. But the person that we hire is going to be, or the people that are hired are going to be working outside of the hours of school as well. So that's all I guess I would ask is those two things be kept, that we'd be mindful of those going forward, as the program progresses.
We have two deputies, Jacob Johnson and Josh Fedorowski, who will be attending starting May 1st to the 5th, the National School Resource Officer Basic Training.
Okay.
So they will
We
be
had
attending.
discussed that at
Yes,
the prior meeting
yes.
in regard to the training.
And I reiterate, I think that was a good idea.
Okay, great. Thank you.
By the way, I think we did not bother to charge for the amount that it would take to train them, the actual training. Obviously, if you and the school district worked something out that you can bill them for the hours that it took to train, which I believe it's 40 hours of training or something, that would work well. I mean, I'm not going to get that nitpicky with it. You can manage it how you want, but just to let you know that that's not calculated in this, nor is the tuition or whatever it would be called. So again, I'm not telling you how to
No, I understand.
deal with it, but just to let you know this wasn't calculated.
All right. Any further discussion? Yes, Mr.
I have a question. Will this officer have freedom to run through all the high schools or just as needed or called?
There will be a schedule that will be established. They will be at different schools. Today they may be at Warren, tomorrow they may be at Sheffield. It'll be on rotating.
And probably best not to have that identified.
No.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, concerns? All right. We have a motion on the table. All in favor of the school resource officer agreement, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank
All right. You're welcome. We'll move on to new business and approval of the April 12th minutes.
Having reviewed the minutes from the April 12th meeting, I move to approve them.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the April 12th minutes, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll move on to our fiscal report. Angela, would you please provide that?
Our cash balances as of today, our general fund account has $1,497,688.51. Our Erie Bank general account stands at $744,689.10, with a grand total of $2,242,377.61. Our cash flow projection for today, our general fund account, like I said, has $2,242,377.61. Our payroll at $264,172.22, and our healthcare figure at $47,450.34, which gives us a projected balance of $1,930,755.05.
I move to approve the fiscal reports.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the fiscal report as read, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I'd like to add something to the agenda here. We have Lori Dunlap from the Planning and Zoning Office to review the CDBG revision request. And maybe Lori could review that for us.
I'm happy to do that. This is a resolution authorizing rebudgeting for the fiscal year 2014 CDBG dollars. We knew that we were going to have some monies left over from a couple projects that were completed under budget, and there were a couple project proposals last year, specifically Mill Street reconstruction in Eldred Township and Willow Street waterline replacement in Sheffield, that we didn't have enough out of the 2016 budget, 15 budget to allocate toward these projects. So now that's what we're doing, is moving unused money. One was from the North Warren Municipal Waterline lateral connection project. $23,000 was left over from that. We assisted the Rouse home in replacing a generator, and actually it was another project that we had moved. It didn't come in under budget. We had moved other money around to spend it, leaving $16,843. So of those two combined amounts, $39,863.79, we're going to allocate $5,000 into the Mill Street project in Eldred Township. We have open bids on that, and we were $5,000 short. We haven't opened bids yet on the Willow Street project in Sheffield, but we're going to put the balance to that $29,493. I think they needed maybe, we anticipated them needing about $8,000, but we don't know until we open the bids in a couple weeks. So, any questions?
Is our tax going up?
Good question.
President Trump would like to do away with this program, and so we wouldn't be helping anybody. So speak to your congressman about keeping this program.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Lori. Thank you for that explanation. We will approve or not approve the resolution during the next course of this meeting.
Do you want to just do that
We could
now?
do it now, yeah. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
I move to approve resolution number 3085.
I'll second that.
Would anyone like or care for me to read this resolution, just so you know what we're agreeing to? I can do that. The North Warren Municipal Authority Waterline Lateral Connection Project in Conowanga Township was completed under budget, leaving $23,020 available for CDBG projects. The Rouse Home Generator Replacement Project was completed at $16,843.79 under budget, leaving these funds available for other CDBG projects. And as anticipated, additional funds are needed for the 2015 projects: Mill Street reconstruction in Eldred Township and Willow Street waterline replacement in Sheffield. Now there be it resolved, the Warren County Commissioners, that a revision of the Warren County CDBG program budget is approved as follows. $5,000 will go toward the Mill Street reconstruction in Eldred, and $29,493.79 will be placed in support of the Willow Street waterline replacement in Sheffield. Do we have a motion?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
All right. Approval of Ordinance 247, updating the definitions of the mobile home, RVs, etc. This was our public hearing portion for which you heard about. If there's any questions at this time or comments or concerns, now's the time to share those with us. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
We'll move on to a proclamation. Motorcycles? Yes, you may.
That's it. I see how it is.
Yeah. Get what you want and leave. Right. Thank you. You're welcome. Have a good afternoon. Thank you. We'll move on to our first proclamation, Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. Annually, the Warren County Board of Commissioners adopt this proclamation in support of motorcycle safety through rider education programs and public awareness programs to try to reduce the number of motorcycle accidents and deaths. The month of May has traditionally been proclaimed as Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month, to urge all motorists to utilize this period to better recognize issues related to motorcycle safety. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Commissioners of Warren County, hereby proclaim May 2017 as Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month, and we commend the Gold Wing Road Riders Association, Chapter Q of Warren, PA, for their successful efforts in teaching motorcycle safety and awareness. Do I have a motion to approve or adopt this proclamation?
I will make that motion.
Second.
And we have with us today the Goldwing Road Rider Association members, a few of them. Do you have anything that you'd like to comment? Do you have anything that you'd like to say?
Just thank you for this, and we have a lot of safety programs with our Goldwings. We wish that all the other groups would do this, because statistic that I was given at one of the education programs in March in Florida, that there are over 10 million motorcycles in the United States that are registered, and most of those people either have a dark colored bike and they wear dark colored clothing and you can't see them very well, so there's a big swing now to try to get bright colors and to teach people to watch out, drive defensively, I guess it is, because they don't see us. They don't see us because they're not looking for us, you know. So we tell all our friends and we tell, our members, we have something safety every meeting to go with. Besides group, when we go to our state rally, which is coming up next month. So.
Well, great. Thank you. And you were? I'm sorry.
Rita Gillespie. I'm the chapter assistant director.
Okay. Thank you, Rita. How do you
feel?
feel?
Two of our life
and, yeah.
Marla Grabowski.
And Bill.
Bill.
I would like to say that I think it should be a law, everybody has to have a helmet on.
Oh, I was just going to ask, how do you feel about our state no helmet?
We all wear helmets.
We all
Okay.
wear helmets.
That was going to be my
Oh, there's
question.
a couple of them.
Very few, but,
We did have that law in place, and then it was repealed several years ago.
yeah, it's horrible to think. I've seen little kids on motorcycles. Here's another thing too. I've seen little kids 4 or 5 years old on the back of their, I guess, parents, I don't know. Little boy, that his legs are only about like this. And I think it should be that if you're not at least 16 and, you shouldn't be on a bike, but,
I agree.
is there a law of how many, of an age you can put a child on a bike? Do you know of any?
Not that I'm aware of. But I think there are provisions for helmets.
Yeah. I thought
Under a certain age.
children
Right.
Yeah.
I wondered, what you seen 3 kids with that mother?
5 kids
No, 5?
on a bike
On the bike.
with a mother. 5 little kids. She had
How?
she had 2 on the gas tank,
Yeah.
2 behind her,
Oh, my.
and 1 stuffed in here.
Oh, Lord.
5. And I don't know if she was running away from a bad day or what. 5 little kids. And the oldest one, maybe 6.
Well, yeah. Mr. Scully?
Commissioner, when they repealed the helmet law, if I'm not mistaken, anybody that got a motorcycle license after that must wear the helmet.
Wasn't aware of that.
There are provisions.
Yeah.
I mean, some was based on experience.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for that.
Well, thank you for listening to our
Thank you.
complaints.
Thank you for being here. All right, and all in favor of adopting this proclamation, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Proclamation for Correction Employees Week. Whereas Pennsylvania's correctional system is the oldest in the nation, evolving from the establishment of Philadelphia's Wall Street Jail in 1773 and the Eastern Penitentiary in 1829, and the Pennsylvania system, as it became known, was the leading influence in the development of penology throughout the 19th century and the forerunner of modern corrections. And today, Pennsylvania faces new and difficult challenges in corrections. With 26 state correctional institutions, a training academy, 14 community corrections centers, and 39 contract facilities, a motivational boot camp, 63 county prisons and jails, and 15 federal institutions, our correctional facilities house more than 100,000 inmates. And the secure and safe operation and management of those facilities on a daily basis rests in the hands of more than 28,875 trained, skilled, and dedicated corrections professionals. They are administrators, corrections officers, counselors, treatment specialists, educators, clerical support staff, business administrators, purchasing agents, personnel and labor relations specialists, clergy, medical professionals, food service specialists, computer technicians, planners and research analysts, and skilled craftspeople upon whose skills, efficiency, and professionalism the functions of the Pennsylvania correctional system depends. And although each of these dedicated professionals work in a different field and specialize in a specific area, all are committed to a common goal: the secure, safe, and humane operation of our Commonwealth's correctional facilities. Now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of Warren County, hereby proclaim May 4th through the 10th of 2017 as Corrections Employee Week. We also encourage everyone to recognize the vital role these dedicated professionals play in ensuring the effective operation of our correctional system in the interest of public safety. Do I have a motion to adopt this proclamation?
So moved.
Second.
We have with us today our Warden, John Collins, and our, of course, Sheriff Claycamp. Would either of you care to say anything?
I'd like to thank the commissioners for the recognition, and I think it's important to let everybody know that, the correctional staff being recognized this week, it goes beyond that to their families. The families really have to go without a lot because the correctional staff it's a 24/7 business. So thank you again.
You're welcome, John.
It's certainly one of those areas that is under-recognized. You know, you hear a lot about the thin blue line. What are you guys, the gray line? Is that the gray line? But seriously, there's EMS and, which is, I forget, yellow or something. And,
right.
But, when I scroll through Facebook, I often see, support our troops, support our police, support our EMS, sometimes even telecommunicators, but jail is often overlooked. But you're right up there with being an absolutely necessary component. So thank you, by the way, for the work that you've been doing. I've been very impressed with really how our jail is run. And that goes back in history, and you're carrying the mantle well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With the number of arrests that we get with drugs and alcohol, and alcohol's probably lower now than it used to be because drugs are taken on. Are they like double dutying these officers because they gotta have more?
We'll let Mr. Collins answer that for you.
I would say in 2016 we processed 742 inmates in our facility, and a conservative number, I would say 75% of those inmates were somehow alcohol or drug related, whether it be an initial arrest or fines and costs from that initial arrest. But as far as staffing goes, or our inmate population, because of society and the way things, the different kinds of drugs and stuff that are out there, our numbers have increased. But staffing, we 2 years ago, I think we started getting some part-timers working with us, which has been fantastic. So as far as the workload for staff, we haven't had any issues.
It just seems like that's all you hear in the paper
Yeah.
and the news, and it's like, it looks like our jails are going to be full, or already are.
Yeah, they're building new ones all the time.
Yeah.
But now the state system, though, they're actually shutting down, they just shut down one. I think their plan is to shut down another one before the end of the year.
I met with the head of the Department of Corrections maybe a month ago. He said a couple of interesting things. The first is that under his leadership, he's trying to find ways to, first of all, spend money once in reforming people. Kind of get back to the original idea that Alexis de Tocqueville triumphed when he first came here in the 1830s, pointing out that at the time prisons were known as reformatories because they were reforming the person, not prisons like back in the quote-unquote old country, because they were just locking people up.
Right.
So anyway, that was one of the interesting things, and the other was, I actually just looked it up, because I thought I might mention it. If something isn't working right, let's do something that government rarely does and stop doing that thing.
Right.
Mr. Scully, did you have something to add?
I like to compliment the correction employees. A lot of people don't realize that, and I'm a supervisor in Glade Township, that a lot of townships and boroughs use the incarcerated people to do minor road work, grass cutting, and I don't think the people of this county realize the money that saves municipalities, because occasionally their inmates are used to do maintenance work throughout our township, and Glade Township appreciates the chances that we have used, and they do a lot of leaf blowing for us.
Yeah, I believe we're scheduled
May 6th.
May 6th to go up there and work in the cemetery for them.
But again, I compliment you on behalf of the supervisors of Glade Township, the effort that you put forward for us.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
On behalf of the commissioners, we think you're doing a great job, John. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say a couple things. One is I'd like to thank Sheriff Clay Camp for his work as warden previous to John Collins. The sheriff, as a part of his ride off into the sunset that's about to happen, was nice enough to give John an opportunity to take over that role. But Sheriff Clay Camp has done a very exemplary job of cleaning, or I shouldn't say cleaning the jail up, but running a tight ship, making sure that the staff is professional and functions at a very high level. John Collins has done a fabulous job since he's taken over as well in order to also maintain those standards, and he's also very good at evaluating the jail and trying to figure out ways to save money, because that's the other thing that I try to remind everybody is that the jail is the biggest cost driver in the county. So that's the second thing. The third thing is that I think it's really fantastic to have this type of a proclamation and to recognize the staff at the jail, because it's really hard to explain to people how difficult that job is. You really never walk away from it, and the time that's spent over there, you're in there. Let's put it this way, I think that there can be a misconception sometimes about guards, in the sense that I think that there's like a stereotype about it, and I don't think that people realize the lengths that the staff over there goes in order to maintain a humane environment, to work with the inmates, to treat them with respect, to demand respect, to create a quality environment for everybody. And I think that they really deserve a lot of recognition for that, because it's 24/7, as John said, and it's a very difficult job. At least I could say, and I'm not going to compare one or the other, but in other jobs you can drive around in a car, you can get some fresh air, you can be outside, and there are challenges to those jobs too. If you're inside that building for 12 hours straight, with a group of people that society decided to kind of separate, that's a real challenge, psychologically, physically, everything, and I think that they deserve a lot of recognition for that. So just wanted to say thank you both and everybody over there for the job that they do.
Just a couple comments.
Sure.
I started my law enforcement career in corrections. I worked in the stockade, Fort Dix, New Jersey, before I was transferred to the road. When I got out of the military, I started in the jail. I worked in the jail for about 4 years. To be a corrections officer today, it used to be years ago you got the biggest, meanest looking guy, and that's who the corrections officer was. Then they were called they were called guards, hacks. They have all kinds of different names for them. Corrections today is a profession. You have to be a jack of all trades and ace of none. You have to be a counselor. You have to have medical skills, and the list just goes on and on and on. And one of the things that I think that Warren County should pride itself on is that the staff is professional. They're highly trained, and they understand that when a person goes to the county jail, that's their punishment. They're not to be punished beyond what the court sentence. Their freedom, taking away their freedom, is their punishment. And I think this staff, I'm very proud of the administration. I brought them on when I was the warden. I think they've done a phenomenal job. I'm very pleased to see the commissioners getting more and more involved in the jail, knowing what the problems are over there. The building, I know I don't look that old, but I started out in the old jail that was here, that had the dungeon. I then went to Stoneham at the old elementary school. That was our jail for a couple of years until this jail was built, and I worked in this jail. So I've seen it all. We should be proud of our staff. They do a phenomenal job.
Thank you, Sheriff. Anything further? All in favor of adopting this proclamation, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll go on to another proclamation. Paint the Town Purple, Relay for Life. Relay for Life is a life-changing event sponsored by the American Cancer Society that helps communities across the globe celebrate the lives of people who have battled cancer, remember loved ones lost, and fight back against the disease. And one person can make a difference, which was evident with the story that began in Tacoma, Washington in the mid-1980s with Dr. Gordy Klatt, a Tacoma colorectal surgeon who wanted to enhance the income of his local American Cancer Society office and show support for all of his patients who had battled cancer. Dr. Klatt decided to personally raise money for the fight by doing something he enjoyed, running marathons. And through Dr. Klatt's efforts, during which he ran for 24 hours and raised $27,000 to fight cancer that first year, his vision has become a national event, providing the opportunity for thousands of communities to come together to plan teen relay events and other fundraising activities, which are instrumental in helping the American Cancer Society save more lives and create more birthdays by helping more people stay well and get well. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Commissioners of Warren County, hereby proclaim the month of May 2017 as Paint the Town Purple for Relay for Life of Warren County. And be it further resolved, all public officials, employees, and all the citizens of Warren County show our support by painting the county purple during the month of May, by wearing purple clothing and/or accessories, and by adorning purple bows and ribbons on buildings and cars in an effort to promote the mindset of thinking survivor. Wear it proud and wear it loud. Do I have a motion to adopt this proclamation?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? Unfortunately, nobody's here to represent Relay for Life this year, but I believe the county will be doing their part in trying to paint the grounds purple in some way, maybe with ribbons or a banner and such.
The only thing I wanted to add is that there's a Relay for Life event on June 17th and June 18th, which is their big event for the year. And you can sign up online at acsevents.org. And that's a good way to support that organization as well, because I believe that's a big fundraiser, and then it's also a way for them to rally and show support for each other.
All in favor of adopting this proclamation, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Another proclamation for National Foster Care Month. Whereas the family serving as the primary source of love, identity, self-esteem, and support is the very foundation of our communities and our state. And nationally, there are more than 400,000 children and youth in foster care, 15,000 in Pennsylvania, and 11 in Warren County. And all young people in foster care need a meaningful connection to someone who can be a support and lasting presence in their lives. And foster, kinship, and adoptive families who open their hearts and homes to children whose families are in crisis play a vital role in helping children and families heal and reconnect, thereby launching young people into successful adulthood. And dedicated foster families frequently adopt foster children, resulting in a greater need for more foster families. There are numerous individuals, public and private organizations, who work to increase public awareness of the needs of children in and leaving foster care, as well as the enduring and valuable contribution of foster parents and the foster care system is only as good as those who choose to be a part of it. Now, therefore, the Commissioners of Warren County do hereby proclaim May as National Foster Care Month in Warren County and urge all citizens to come forward and do something positive that will change a lifetime for a young person in foster care. Do I have a motion to adopt this proclamation?
So moved.
I'll second.
I would like to comment that yesterday I had the pleasure of job shadowing a children and youth worker, and our morning involved evaluation of two foster children, and this mother has taken on the care of these two children who were in dire need of a more nurturing and helpful family life. And the progress that these children have made in 6 months' time was really remarkable in reviewing the records from 6 months ago when this mother had taken on these two children as to yesterday during this evaluation. And just listening to this foster mother who does hope to adopt these children, and listening to her story about what she's brought to these two children, and you could just truly see how much they love her already. They call her mom, and she has provided a nurturing environment and been very instrumental in helping them learn and grow. And what a remarkable job she's doing for these children. And so I would just like to encourage any family who has ever considered putting themselves out there as a family to become a foster family. I would encourage you to do so. The benefits that I saw for this mom was just truly incredible, and I'm very happy I had an opportunity to see that firsthand. Do any of you have anything to add?
No, that sounds good.
All right. All in favor of adopting this proclamation, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Proclamation for Mental Health Month. On behalf of the citizens of Warren County, Pennsylvania, we are pleased to join Forest Warren Department of Human Services and Forest Warren Mental Wellness Association in promoting May 2017 as Mental Health Awareness Month in Warren County. Mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being. All Americans experience times of difficulty and stress in their lives. 1 in 5 American adults will experience a mental health issue this year. And promoting the Awareness Month provides individuals in the mental health community an opportunity to educate the public and policymakers about the social and financial effectiveness of services that are available. Prevention is an effective way to reduce the impact of mental health conditions. And there's a strong body of research that supports specific tools that all Americans can use to better handle challenges to protect their health and well-being. And mental health conditions are real and prevalent in our nation. And with effective treatment, those individuals with mental health conditions can and do recover and lead full, productive lives. Each business, school, government agency, healthcare provider, and organization, citizens, share the effects of mental health issues and has a responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention efforts to reduce the impact of mental health issues. We, the Commissioners of Warren County, do hereby proclaim May 2017 as Mental Health Month in Warren County. We also call upon citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools in Warren County to recommit our community to increasing awareness and understanding of mental health, the steps our citizens can take to protect their mental health, and the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people and mental health conditions. Do I have a motion to adopt this proclamation?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? Please.
Beacon Light.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been there, but I know a few people that go there.
Mm-hmm.
I've always heard bad things about it, sorry.
That's okay.
That as long as it's run by the state, all they care about is the money. They don't care about their patients or their consumers. I don't know if that's true or something to, you know.
Okay, so I guess I'll say my piece on this. So aside from that, Beacon Light is an independent organization. It's not run by the state. It's a nonprofit. Yeah. I mean, certainly it's regulated to some degree by the state, by state law, but they do their own thing. There's a lot of different organizations, and some of them are even listed in this, or at least there's several different organizations that provide mental health services within the county, including Deerfield and Beacon Light and a number of others. So certainly this is a good time to reflect on the changes that have happened over the past 20 or 30 years. I think that, I think that mental health is something that we have to have a regular conversation about, especially in rural Pennsylvania, just because we have a lack of resources. There are resource challenges all the time, trying to bring, skilled professionals here in order to provide mental health services to the community is always a challenge. So I think focusing on this and having a month dedicated to it is a very important thing. This also plays to the proclamation we did earlier with the jail, with the various cuts to state funding, the closing of the forensic unit at the state hospital. Enormous number of people with mental health issues end up in the jail, actually, and so part of one of the real challenges for the guards or the correctional officers in the jail is that they have to, figure out a way to deal with people that they're in many cases not trained to deal with, and so there's a whole new skill set that they have to learn. It's my belief that we need to really think about reinvesting in mental health, especially in rural Pennsylvania.
And there seems to be so much anymore. so
No.
much anymore.
Well, I mean, it plays
I
into
don't know what
the,
it is.
if it plays into the drug and alcohol issues,
Well,
it
yeah.
plays into everything. So, Beacon Light handles that as well. I mean, they have a host of different services. So, anything we can do to draw attention to that and to, make people aware of it, make people think of it, mindful of what we can do to help citizens within the community that have issues with mental health, whether it be someone with drug and alcohol issues or a child that has, an intellectual disability that, their challenges.
Yeah.
Everything we can do to come together in order to address those issues, I think,
Because
is
there's so
helpful.
many people out there, they think, like, when you say you have, I don't know, some sort of mental problem, it's all in your head or something, or something. So we should be aware of it. I think it's a good idea.
Right. And actually, this proclamation ties together with the foster care month, because typically the children that you see in foster care are as a result of parents who are either in the system one way or another. So,
Emily, did you want to add anything?
I just wanted to say thank you to the commissioners for their continued support with mental health awareness and helping to end stigma within our county. So.
thank you. Any further comments or suggestions? All right, all in favor of adopting Mental Health Month of May proclamation, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll move on to the final item on our agenda, which is the agreement with the ANF for patrols. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with the ANF in order to authorize patrols by the Sheriff's Department.
Second.
Further discussion. This is a cooperative agreement between Warren County Sheriff's Department and the Allegheny National Forest for patrolling during the holiday time. Most significantly, I believe it's Memorial Day, 4th of July, and then Labor Day. This is an agreement, and I believe we have a $5,000 reimbursement from the ANF in regard to the wages that they would incur by that patrol. Sheriff, do you have anything more to add?
No, these patrols, as Commissioner said, it's a cooperative agreement between the Sheriff's Office, the county, and the Allegheny National Forest. The money has steadily declined over the years. I can remember back to when the county was getting $20,000 to $25,000 a year to do patrols. We would do them every weekend. We're down to $5,000 now. I think last year was $6,000. A year before that was $9,000. So we do what we can. We run 6-hour patrols at designated peak times and try to keep things quiet.
Is the ANF having you patrol just when they feel they need you, like on the 4th of July and Memorial Week? You're not up there all the time?
No, they're not. We only, because of the dollar amount, we can only do on holidays. Those are obviously peak times. Memorial Day, I mean, you go up Forest Service Road 160 and they're camped everywhere. But we do the campgrounds, we do the boat launches. If there's an area that there's a problem, we would hit that. We had problems a few years back at Webb's Ferry with kids from New York State coming down and having underage parties and things like that. So,
has the ANF given you any reason why they're decreasing?
all I know is the money's not there. They allocate so much money. And Forest County has the same cooperative agreement. We're working on an agreement with the Army Corps of Engineers, as Forest County also has an agreement for Tonasca Lake. That has been consistent. We got the paperwork yesterday that I presented to fiscal to do our numbers. There's a formula that the federal government uses. We have done the forest patrols and the Corps of Engineer patrols since inception, probably over 40 years. They were doing, when I came here in 1977, they were doing patrols. They had been doing them prior. And at that time, the federal government had given enough money for 2 deputies to run 365 days a year. But
I'd like to make a suggestion to you, Sheriff. They have what they call the RAC committee. why not try and approach the A&F, use some of the money that's given to the RAC to distribute? I had the privilege of sitting on that committee, and I would work with you diligently because we give money to different organizations and townships and that through the RAC, which is the forest money, timber money. And I can't see why you couldn't put in a request to the RAC when the money's available.
That's pretty much what the Title III monies.
Yes, it is, and I also sit on that same committee, and I don't know if that would meet the guidelines of...
Well, they're patrolling the A&F property.
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly submit your application for those funds. I don't think that they would be available in Warren County, but possibly for us.
We tried to get those years ago to buy vehicles, and we were unsuccessful. The sheriff's office, as far as I know, I mean, in that provision for Title III, at least back then, it was for services such as that.
Well, maybe Commissioner Morrison and I both that we sit on that committee together, we might be able to propose to our committee members to donate to the Warren County Sheriff, because I think you need to patrol the camping area more than just 4 holidays a year.
I agree.
And I think everybody should make that on your notes, and we'll talk to the RAC about that.
The main focus of the patrols is to act as a deterrent, to let people know that we're out there.
Yes.
And I believe the Allegheny National Forest actually does some of the patrolling themselves.
They do. They have their own.
This is for additional
The sheriff
support.
has done over the past 40 years, if you check the history of it.
Okay.
And the RAC money is specifically for school, what's it called?
School resource committee.
School resource money,
So-
but it's divided up.
But it's for roads.
Right.
and
You have to
projects
board the
supported.
A&F to get any of the money, which my township does, and we have got money from the RAC.
However, Warren County was not, we didn't allocate those funds for Warren County. It was just...
Just for forest.
Just
That
for
might
forest.
change.
Yeah, it could
This
change.
year, you have got a few letters from townships saying how we want to do it this year.
Well, the other thing is that that program is actually not continued by Congress, so the RAC, the very nature of the thing, is going to have to change very soon. So you may have an opportunity to shape that.
We may.
Put that on your notes, and we'll discuss it at the next meeting.
I don't think that there has been a next meeting planned, but
No.
when and if that is, we will certainly bring that to their attention. Okay, all in favor of this agreement with the A&F, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Would the chair entertain an additional agenda?
Can I ask the sheriff a question? Do you patrol the dam?
We are working on a contract with them. We have had a contract with them for 40+ years.
Yes.
The funding for that has been steady. We're up there 4 days a week. Certain how we do peak, how we rotate so that we don't get into a pattern.
Because I used to work up there. I used to, at the fish hatchery. And you'd be surprised the fishermen or whoever would walk over there and come down to the bank. And they're not allowed there.
Right.
And not naming names, but my boss says, that's not our problem.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was their problem. You know, I thought the fish hatchery was, you know, take care of these people that come in. You'd be surprised the people that open the back door without signing in. And when we worked there one time, we had a threat. Scared the crap out of all of us, you know. But they didn't call the police or anything. It was just like, oh, well, you know, let somebody else take care of it, which it was. And, you know, I think it should be patrolled more.
Yeah, that is one of our areas, is on that side, because we go down to the gate, fish hatchery, check the doors. When it gets real dry, some of the deputies are very apprehensive because the snakes are coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Out of curiosity, I know that agreement, they wanted it passed by May 2nd, and we don't have another meeting until then. I know that we didn't get a chance to fill out the formulas, but if the funding has truly been that steady, could we simply pass it with a 1% mark, you know, a up to 1% additional clause or something?
But
So you can still pass it just with a clause that it's not the exact amount. but it's within 1% or something.
Basically, the only thing that I could see would change is the salaries, whatever the union contract called for January 1. I think it was last year, the year before, they wanted to do a 3-year contract.
And we don't know what that number will be.
No, but it's pretty consistent.
Right, but I'm saying that I don't see any issue with approving it today for the next 6 months, because we're going to have to reapprove it later anyway.
Yeah.
I think we should leave it as it is, and if we need to amend it or bring a new agreement to the table, then maybe we should do it at that time. That's my suggestion, my recommendation.
As long as that doesn't have any negative impact on actually getting the thing approved by the dam or the Corps of Engineers.
No, and I think what they're trying to accomplish, last year we ran into problems when I put cars up there, the regular duty cars, to check that area because the contract was not ready to go until after Memorial Day, and Memorial Day is a big time up there. And for this lady, one of the things that we look for are waiters. It's amazing the number of people who still wait out there. We have not had any drowning incidents in years, but I know when it was first built, there were several, because what they would do is they'd walk out into the river, and there's drop-offs, sandbars and whatnot, and they'd slip and fall, and their boots get full up with water. And that's one of the things we do. We have several citations a year for the waiting, and it's marked, there's no doubt.
So as long as this is passed by Memorial Day, you think you'll be fine?
I would hope to get this done by Memorial Day, yes.
Okay, well, we have one more meeting, two more meetings, so that's fine.
But I don't know how long, because they have to see, the only thing is, they have to go through their process too.
Right.
So if you want to vote on it, I don't see much of an increase other than nominal because of the salary. But I think the formula that they use, I think is pretty consistent.
I'll defer to the chairs, whatever your decision is for whether or not.
I think we should just pass this today and wait on the Army Corps of Engineers. All right. We do have an additional item on new business, and it's a contract for transportation services between the Transit Authority and the Warren County Commissioners. And the only reason that we're being given this agreement to sign is the state is requiring that the Transit Authority and Warren County operate a little differently financially. And for our shared ride program, they will provide the documentation to the county in regard to those rides and the numbers, and we will then turn that over to the state. The state will then cut a check to the county. The county then will reimburse the Transit Authority. It's just a matter of a different way of doing business, so we have a contract that we're signing in regard to that.
I move to approve the Transit Authority contract as presented.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. Any other comments or concerns from?
I just want to, May 8th at 10 a.m. there will be a hearing before the State Government Committee of our State House concerning House Bill 466. What that is the Sheriff's Authority Bill. I plan on attending. Several sheriffs. There's a possibility that our district attorney will testify. Also, the president of the National Sheriff's Association. And what this bill does is it gives the sheriffs. It does not make the sheriffs police officers. It allows them to enforce the crimes code, the vehicle code, and the drug code, and give them the investigative authority. As it stands right now, sheriffs and deputies do not have the authority to investigate. We can arrest for crimes, felonies, and breaches of the peace that are committed in our presence, and this will take care of that. We've been fighting this for 39 years that I've been here. I cut my teeth on criminal investigations. We were a full-service agency up until the Coppa versus Miller decision years back. This is not a power play by the sheriff to take over county law enforcement. All we want is to be able to serve the public. If I go to someone's house and I'm serving a warrant or a civil paper and I see drugs on a table, we can deal with it. If we're doing a DUI checkpoint as it stands right now, a deputy cannot do an investigation. So, it makes no sense. We all know that for years and years and years and years, the sheriff is a constitutional officer. The sheriff's office, the sheriff is established by the state constitution. We all know that back in the 1700s that the sheriff was the primary law enforcement for hundreds of years. Until 1976 when the new crimes code, where they left out some language. For a little bit of a history lesson, on page 272 of the History of the Pennsylvania State Police, it specifically says that back in the early 1900s that the state police troopers could not enforce the criminal code. So what they did was they came to the sheriff and became deputy sheriffs. That's how they enforced. So it's what they call statutory law versus. My argument has always been that I have the authority under the state constitution. That's the authority. That carries more weight than anything. But we're going to have a hearing, and I'd like to thank the Council of Governments who have been supportive and have submitted letters on our behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. And I would comment that, while everyone probably can't make it to Harrisburg for State Government Committee meeting on House Bill 466, you could contact your legislators and you could let them know how you feel about this bill and encourage them to vote whichever way you feel is best. Okay.
Just for a note, our state representative, Kathy Rapp, does support the bill.
She's a co-sponsor.
And I personally have sent 22 different letters to the state representatives to support your bill, which I have told you. So we need it. We need the support, and it would be very nice if a few other residents of Warren County would write letters to their state reps. Anybody needs a list, I can get it for you.
They're always listed in the newspaper, so you can get that list.
Some
right
don't
in the
get
Warren
the
County
newspaper
Observer.
too much anymore.
Give us a call. We'll provide that information for you. Okay. Any other comments?
I don't mean to hog the conversation, but I would like to say I've lived here 76 years. It was a sad day. As a kid, I used to go to East Street School, walk around town. And to see the courthouse open, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? People would be out there sitting and using chairs or something and be eating lunch. Now it's like it's closed to the public now. Everybody has to go to that. I know it's for safety, but it has lost something from Warren. It has lost something. I know you probably agree too. It's lost something.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
it's just, it was part of Warren. Just like the Beatty Dam was part of Warren. You go by there and you kind of still look at it, And I think it's sad. I think it was a very sad day that the doors closed out front.
One of the things that we're working on now is how to develop the front end of the building and the rest of the park area, because it's one of the nicest green spaces in the city. Really should be utilized more by the staff and by the public, as a public space. So there, although I agree with you about the sad element to it, on the flip side, it does pose an opportunity to maybe use that space in a different way to a larger extent. We'll see.
And I and my office will work with the commissioners on whatever needs to be done. I mean, this is your courthouse.
Yeah.
And it is a sad state of affairs when all courthouses in Pennsylvania and federal courthouses and so on and so forth have to go to that extreme. It is a sad state.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get a dog license or something. You have to get it, and it's just like, I don't know, you're not violated, but you just feel like you're
restricted.
Yeah, like it's not friendly.
But when from our standpoint, to be honest with you, the deputies love being out there. I'm not saying we love doing it, but we love because they get to interact with the public. and they've had fun with it. It shows the public, when you interact with the deputies, that they are no different than anybody else.
Oh, yeah, that was out.
It has been very good for our office.
But it's just, you go by and you look and it's different, you know? And some of us older people don't like change.
I hate to cut this meeting short, but we do have another meeting, and they are waiting for us in the hall. So could I have a motion for adjournment?
Could I ask three really quick things? First of all, remember the recycling things on Saturday.
Okay.
Second of all, the roof, by the way, is actively being done, so we should probably let the courts know that they should be able to move back there next week. And then last thing, I misspoke earlier when I said that training was not included in your SRO agreement. I re-looked at the calculation, it actually was.
Okay.
It's immaterial, but I didn't want to close down the meeting without clarifying.
Okay.
I move to adjourn.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Jeff, did you say 2 weeks? Thank you.
So a week from Monday.
Okay. I enjoyed hearing everything you had to say.
Oh, thank you.
And
We enjoyed coming.
and I understand what you're saying about the front door. Do you want a photo? Sure. Yeah, would you take a photo? Thank you.